Hey everyone. So as I travel around the country to 225 courses in the last 21 months, a recurring theme I see at most of the courses, honestly most of them, is that the local female players have been taught to not use a run-up. Not all of them, but some of them have been taught to just stand at the end of the tee pad and throw. Now there's a problem with this. Standing at the end of the tee pad and throwing without a run-up is incorrect technique. The correct technique is to use at least a 3-step run-up with a next step. A next step is correct, just standing there throwing is incorrect. Now I understand why a new player might be taught this way, but I have a couple problems with this. The first is, it's only taught this way to women. I'm sorry, I don't want to accuse anyone of being sexist, but guys are taught the X step and for some reason girls aren't. I promise you guys, girls can learn the X step just as well as guys can, absolutely for sure. But the other problem is that when a player learns incorrect technique, what inevitably happens is, after a while, they start to get pretty good at the incorrect technique. Now, once they're pretty good at the incorrect technique, down the road, if they decide to try to learn the correct technique, what will happen is, at first, even though the correct technique is proper, they will be worse because it is something new for a little while. Now, unless the player is very dedicated and focused and really wants to excel, more often than not, they're just going to revert back and say, you know what, I'm better, I'm just more comfortable just standing there. Now, with that incorrect technique, they're going to progress slower, and there's going to be a lower ceiling as far as how good they can get. So the frustration won't happen at the beginning from trying to learn something new. The frustration will happen down the road when they hit a ceiling and they're not improving. So I'd like to request that we stop doing this, okay? Especially, like I said, I promise you guys, your girl can learn the X step. So I'm gonna teach the basics. It's just 3 steps, very simple. Your feet do 3 things, the disc does 3 things, okay? Only 6 things total. So feet do 3 things, disc does 3 things, and then you're gonna put them together. So, starting with the feet. You turn 90 degrees from your target, feet together. This is the starting position. Now you can add to this later, okay? I'm just talking about the basics. This is how you start. Step 1, in a line the direction you're throwing, you step. Step 2, on that same line the direction you're throwing, this foot slides behind. Both steps are on this line. Step 3 continues on the line the direction you're throwing. Okay? 1, 2, 3, all 3 steps in a line the direction you're throwing. That's all you do with your feet. The disc does 3 things as well. Step 1, the disc points in a line the direction you're throwing. Step 2, the disc is pulled back on that same line, but opposite the direction you're throwing, but still remains on that line. And then step 3, you pull the disc back the direction you're throwing. So there's 6 steps, 5 of the 6 are on the line this way, the other one is on the line that way, okay? But it's easy, 1, 2, 3. Now there's only one complicated part about putting them together. It's not complicated, but there's only one trick. So, to put them together, the first step of the disc and the first step of the feet happen at the same time, both in the direction you're throwing. The disc and the feet in the direction you're throwing. That's step 1. Step 2, this leg is going to step behind the direction you're throwing. The disc is going to be on the same line, the opposite direction. This is the first kind of tricky part, but the foot goes this way, the disc goes that way. But again, they're both on the same line. And then the third step, like I said, this is the only tricky part. The third step does not happen together. The first two steps happen together. The third step, the step happens first, on line the direction you're throwing, followed by the disc, on line the direction you're throwing. And that's literally all there is to the X step. It's 1, 2, 3, or 3.5. But that's it. 1, 2, 3, 3. That's the X step. I promise you, your girlfriend, your wife, they can learn the X step. It's going to take an extra 2 minutes on the first hole. They'll have the basics of it by hole 9. By hole 18, they'll be doing an X step. With that correct technique, they can progress in the game. If it turns out they like it, and that's the goal. That's why we've brought our partners out to the course, right? We're hoping that they like it so we can share this game with them, teach them the correct technique, give them an opportunity to evolve. They'll enjoy the game more, and that's it. So stop teaching it wrong. All right.